Hey guys, Richard here, and I'm really looking forward to catching up with you in New York. It's coming up very fast. What I want to do is give you something before you turn up. Okay, so I'm going to take you through a little quick module. It will be quick and it will be a little bit rough because I'm really in the process of drafting this, but I want to share it with you before you even got to New York because I'm so excited about it. And I'm calling it the incredible Problemator. Okay, now please watch this video and watch it a couple of times because it'll transform the way you think and it'll transform your ability to get results, particularly win projects. Okay, so 3 underlying psychological triggers of this. We're not going to be covering this in New York. I was speaking to Enoch on the phone actually, so I'll just give you a quick background on why I'm doing this. Speaking to Enoch on the phone, and I said, look, I've just developed this new thing called the Problemator. I really want to do it. And we just didn't have room to squeeze it in. And I couldn't think of anything out of New York that we could take out, but I still want to do it. So we decided, okay, create a quick video and we'll give it to you as a, I don't know, a bonus or a warm you up type exercise. So it's going to be pretty simple. All you have to do is fill out a simple chart and you'll get quick benefits. Okay, when you fill out this simple chart, I'll show you at the end. Right, 3 underlying psychological triggers you need to be aware of before we kick into it. Right, first one, people are motivated to avoid pain or gain pleasure. 2, people buy an emotion and justify with logic. And 3, you need to sell the problem you solve, not the service. Okay, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I could do a whole workshop on each of these things, but these are 3 key things you need to know. I'm quickly covering them. It's not long enough, but let's get into it. Right, now let me guess some of the problem you might have if you're not earning the income you want. Your issue is you think you're probably either not got enough meetings or you're not winning enough clients. Now, this leads to, now you understand why I'm doing these grey slides in a minute because I'll explain it all, but this leads to, if you're not getting enough clients and not enough meetings, you probably feel like you're a bit of a commodity against other architects, which often challenges your pricing. People question your pricing and you feel you can't put your fees up to where you deserve them to be. You end up responding to tenders or proposals, which you sometimes don't win, so you're losing your weekends. And when you go through patches of not getting enough meetings, not getting enough projects on board, you end up with self-doubts about yourself and about your business. It's some of the stuff that can happen, right? Now, the true cost, what this ultimately leads to, is your income is for most architects, I believe they're tens of thousands of dollars earning less than what they could and should be. In many cases, half. What you're earning, you could earn double without necessarily working much harder if you understand how to convert meetings into projects and things like that. Right? Quality of your life is reduced to what it could be. You don't go on the holidays you could be. You don't take your wife or your husband on the holidays they deserve, and your kids can miss out as well. Okay, and this can often lead to self-respect, being down below where it should be. You know how you feel when it's going really well, and you're on top of the world, and you've got lots of projects, and you're charging good fees, and then other times when you're feeling a bit desperate, it's no fun. And ultimately you end up blaming yourself. Okay, fortunately, it's not your fault, right? The true cause to the problem, to not having enough meetings and not having enough clients, is because you're selling your service. You're not selling the problems you solve. Now, just have a think about this. If you're selling your service, that's what everyone else is selling. You're just selling your architecture services. You become a commodity. That is a commodity. I'm selling the same thing as everyone. The secret to doing this is sell the problems you solve. Now, remember some of those things I said earlier. People are motivated by pain or pleasure, particularly pain. So we need to be talking about pain. I also said one of the other quotes was, people buy an emotion, justify with logic. Well, pain is emotional. Architecture's not so emotional. Okay, so we sell the problems you solve. I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, today I want to introduce you to a thing called the Problemator. Okay, now what it does is it converts the service you offer into the problems you solve. Now, ultimately, the ultimate benefit, by translating what you do into how you change lives of your client, you become them focused, which they understand, not you focused. Forget about how I spelled how, right? You translate what you do into how you change the lives of the client, which is them focused, which they understand, not You focused. Saying I do architecture and I do BIM and I do ZIM and I do, sustainable design, that is kind of all terms that relate to what you do. It doesn't talk to them how it solves their problems. Okay, now by taking you through the Problemator, you're going to have to translate it quickly and they are going to get it. They're going to get it very quickly. Now, there's two parts to the Problemator, I suppose. Well, there's the FEHB formula and then there's the Problemator. So I'm going to assume you don't know what the FEHB formula is. It's very quick and simple. It's what I used to teach. It's a quick way to be persuasive. Okay, now it's good in most situations, but not always. When you add the Problemator in front of the FEHB formula, it becomes almost irresistible. Now, in a way, I've just done it to you. I've just done what I'm going to teach you to. Those grey slides were all they were the Problemator and the FEHB formula, and I'm going to sort of pull back the curtains in a minute. So, let me quickly show you the FEHB formula. FEHB, F-A-B. F stands for features, A stands for advantages, and B stands for benefits. You may have heard this before, features, advantages, benefits. I'm going to show you how to use it. Okay, F-A-B. Right, features is what the thing is. Advantages is what the feature does. And benefits is the potential life transformation. Okay, how it ultimately changes someone's life. Let me give you an example. Buying a car, right? If I was buying a car and I want to sell you on one of the features, I'd go the airbags. These airbags are great. That's what it is. Airbags. What it does, in case of a crash, it automatically deploys cushioning system. That's what it does. That's the advantage. See the A on the right-hand side? Stands for advantage. Right, B, what's the ultimate benefit? Saves your life. Can you see how more powerful that is than just saying, hey, it's got airbags? It's got airbags. It saves your life, right? Airbags deploys on advantages, it deploys. The benefit is it saves your life, right? Much more powerful. Okay, so let me go back to this. Features, advantage, benefit, what it is, what it does, and the potential life transformation. Right, when you use those 3 steps to explain the things you do, it becomes more powerful. Okay, and airbags, opens on impact, saves your life. Boom, boom, boom. Right, FAB, much more powerful than just saying, here's what I do, and listing the things you do. You've got to spell them out on how it changes someone's life, because they don't get it. Okay, this is the simple one, saves your life. That's the emotional one. Remember, people buy an emotion, justify with logic. We've got to add the emotional content, and that's what the FEHB formula does. Logic, emotional. That final step is emotional. Now, if you want to go into this in deep detail, grab the Petrie Method, and I go into the FEHB formula in detail. I just want to, now quickly, how would that be applied to architecture? How would we apply FAB, right? Let's do a quick example. Right, feature, sustainable design. What it does, uses low impact materials. How it affects you, you've made a contribution to the world. You haven't made the world a worse place by building. You haven't had a bad footprint. You're being a responsible person in this world. Okay, let's have another example. Sustainable design. You could do it a different way. You could say it reduces heating costs. Okay, now if the benefit could be that heating costs can often go to pay the university fees of one of your kids because you're using the sustainable design. All of a sudden, it becomes meaningful. It's them focused, not you. Sustainable design is kind of you focused. Saving that money to pay for university fees is them focused, right? BIM, 3D modeling. That's what it is BIM. How we do it? We do 3D modeling. The ultimate benefit is it creates informed decisions earlier and allows you to get your project on time and on budget. Step 1, 2, 3. Pretty good. Okay, now FAB is nice shortcut, but sometimes you need the big guns. Okay, so if you can do FAB, a lot of the cases you're going to be more persuasive and more effective. Yes, but if you add the Problemator in front of the FAB, that's when you start to really get some big results fast. Let me show you. Now remember, you sell the problem, not the service. Okay, sell the problem, not the service. The problems will be unique. The service is kind of generic and kind of commodity item. Okay, I'm going to take you through how to fill out the Problemator and the FEHB formula. Okay, now this, by the time you've completed this task, you'll be far more persuasive than you ever will have been if you haven't gone through the process of getting yourself organized like this. Okay, this chart is split up into two sides. You've got the Problemator side on the left-hand side, and then you've got the FEHB formula on the right-hand side. Okay, so far so good. Pretty simple. How we're going to do this is you're going to complete the exercises in this order. Now I've numbered them, not in the order, not in SPC, but you'll complete them based on how they're numbered, and then you'll talk in this order. So let me explain. When you fill out the exercise, when you fill out the sheet, you'll start here, then so you do FAB, and then once you've done FAB, you'll go back and do SEP, problem, cost. Okay, that's the order you'll fill it out. When you're talking to people, you'll start 1, then you'll say this, then you'll go to problem, then you'll go to the cost, then you'll go to the feature, advantage, benefit. That's how you'll talk, different from how you'll fill this form out. Okay, let me take you through an example. Here's how I filled the chart out. Okay, so number 1, start with the feature. What is it, the Problemator? Then I said, okay, it translates your service into a problem-solving structure the mind can't resist. So that's the advantage. That's what it does. The Problemator translates a service into a problem. The benefit, the ultimate life-changing response, is you get rapport and you get motivation from clients who may have been previously difficult. You become an in-demand architect whom clients will pay a premium to win. So that's the order I filled it out in. Then I went back and filled it out and said, right, what's the symptom that an architect would recognize? Not enough meetings, not enough clients. Okay, what's the emotional story? Well, you can end up becoming a commodity. Imagine writing proposals in the weekend that you really have no chance of winning because you're not persuasive enough. Then you fear you may have to go out and get a job. Your wife or husband starts doubting your ability to turn your business around, and you're worried you have to go back and work for someone else. There's our emotional story. What's the problem? The problem is you're selling your service, not the problem you solve. Okay, you're you focused, not them focused. By converting into a problem, it becomes more emotional, becomes them focused. That's the true problem. And then I said, okay, what's the cost? Income lower than it should be. Quality of life is lower than it should be. You're not going on the holidays. Remember I talked about that. And maybe your self-respect. You blame yourself. Okay, but the problem is you're not structuring the way you communicate properly. So bang, that's an example of me filling it out, and I used it at the start of the video. But I didn't start in that order, right? I went from 1, not enough meetings, not enough clients, then to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I deliberately did that to show you me using the Problemator when I was talking to you. Okay, pretty cool. Like, this is it. This is all we're really doing. I mean, you know all the answers to these boxes. You just need to go through the correct structure, and you need to speak in the correct order. Start with the problem, get them feeling emotional, then introduce your service and your solution and explain how their life will change. Don't just deliver here's what I do, I'm an architect, and assume they're going to fill in the gaps. All this is doing is we're going to detail, and we're expanding out every aspect of what they need to be thinking to fully value what you're doing. If you just say I'm an architect and I'm a really good one, all you're doing is saying number 5. And what I do, all you're doing is saying 5 and 6. I'm an architect and I'm a really good one. That's where most people stop. But they're missing out on all the emotion. They're missing out on helping people understand what can go wrong, so that the value of having an architect has never been established. Okay, so by going through each aspect, you can really, really explain the value of what you do in much greater detail, more powerful level. And that's how you're going to win projects, and that's how you're going to get rapport with people, and that's how you're going to differentiate yourself, because you can articulate the fears and the pains and the problems so much better than any other architect. The other architects won't even think of it. All right, so the question you might be asking is, okay, what feature can I put through this little chart? What can I use? Well, the answer is list all the reasons people should hire you, and then take each one and put it through the fabulator, and put it through the problem the Problemator. Okay, so what's some examples? Let me help you. You might do sustainable design. Right, put that through the FEHB formula and then put it through the Problemator. You might say, okay, I've decided I'm going to do a needs and options review like you've recommended, an LCC. Great, put that through the FEHB formula, put it through the Problemator. I might have 20 years experience. I've been around for a long time. I know this game inside out. So you'd put that through. Then you might say, well, hang on, I've only been in my business for 2 years. I'm really not that experienced. I don't have a lot of projects to show. Great. What you might say is, listen, I'm recently trained in the modern methods. So, whereas these old architects who have been around for 50 years, they're still using old style, old technology, they're not using ArchiCAD or something like that. I'm using all the modern stuff. And then you would go through, what are the advantages of that, what are the benefits. So you can take any aspect and put it through the FEHB formula and put it through the Problemator. I can say I've got lots of experience, and that's my advantage, or I can say I'm new, I'm using the new techniques. Basically, I've got no experience, but I'm using the modern technology. So there's an experience. You can always turn whatever you want into solving problems and changing people's lives for the better. Just a case of going through each of the boxes. So there's 2 lines there. That's just so you can use, you can list different ones. So there you go. There's the FEHB formula and the Problemator. I love it because it simplifies what really persuasive people naturally do. And by following this formula, you can become a really naturally persuasive person because you're thinking things through for people. Anyway, hope you enjoy it. Hope you love it. This will probably change over time as I refine it a little bit more. But like I say, I'm just in the early stages of designing this thing. Hopefully it's simple for you. Hopefully you're excited by it. And then go and fill in the boxes and start testing it out and using it on your friends and loved ones and see if you can, just test it out using around the house things. Get your kids to do more housework. See if that works for you to start with. Anyway, see you in New York. Really looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome. This is just one thing we won't be covering this. I just want to squeeze this in before we went. But we'll be covering a lot of other very cool stuff. Anyway, see you in New York.